Hello, people of YouTube, the knife people on YouTube. This is Earth Particle. My name is actually Patrick, so maybe I'll just start saying this is Patrick with another knife review. This today is going to be on the TwoSun TS293, and that's this knife right here. TwoSun TS293, so we'll talk about this. I have not seen many videos on this knife. I think I found maybe one or two, and they didn't seem to be very comprehensive, so I wanted to put this out there because I think it's a cool knife. So, let me give you a couple measurements on this. So the TS293 is 8.43 inches in length. Close length is 4.8. Let me close that up. 4.8 inches. You can see how it sits in my hand. The blade length is 3.58 inches. It weighs 4.6 ounces. That's what it weighs on my scale. Also, I think online it says 4.59. My scale says 4.6. And the blade stock thickness is 150 thousandths. When I measured it, it actually measured more like 142 thousandths. So it actually measured a little bit more narrow than what it claims. But the other measurements seem to be about right. So something that I have not done in my last few videos that I wanted to do today is some size comparisons. And I have my camera is at an angle, but I've got it a little bit higher up than normal in the hopes that the sizes won't look too off. But as you can see here, it's actually pretty similar in size to the Paramilitary 2. I'll put it on that side, and I'll put it also on this side so you can kind of see because of the angle of the camera. I want to make sure you can kind of see both ways. So there's the PM2. All right, here's the Par 3. We'll go pivot to pivot here. So there's the Par 3. And again, I'll move that off to the side, and we'll put this guy in the bottom part as well so you can kind of see. So definitely closer in size to the PM2. All right, let's go now with the Spyderco Delica. Here's side by side, or top to bottom with the Delica, and I'll also go up here as well just to kind of even it out. There's the Delica. There's the Delica. Okay, and we'll do a few more here. This is the Benchmade 940. There's the Benchmade 940, and here is the Bug Out. All right, and we'll flip-flop these so you can get an idea of what they look like on the other side for the camera. So definitely closer in size to the 940, at least in terms of these two. And then we'll throw one more out there. We'll do this Viva Elementum. So yeah, definitely bigger than an Elementum. So there's some size comparisons for you to get that out of the way. So the main reason I wanted to do a review on this, well, for one, a couple reasons. For one, there weren't really many reviews up on it. Two, this is only my second TwoSun knife, and it's my first in titanium. So I just really thought it was a really good piece, and I wanted to talk about it. So the blade steel is 14C28N. I don't know if you can see. This is a Raihe design, 14C28N. And the blade is not too much billboarding or anything. It just has the TwoSun logo. Sorry, when I pull it up this high, you're seeing daylight outside, not the light from inside the room. But anyway, there's the TwoSun logo. You've got a recurve and a compound grind. And a couple of things that really drew my eye to this is, for one, it's got this kind of multi-grind. You see how the satin goes this way here. Then on the hollow grind, you got the satin going down. And then on this little swedge, it also goes, almost stabbed myself. On the swedge goes straight across, but then right here, you've got this little bit here that goes down and away. So you've got these really cool, like, varying grinds on the satin finish that look awesome. And it's the same on the other side, symmetrical on the other side. So anyway, I think it looks fantastic. some other things I really noticed about this. First of all, let's talk about lockup. Lockup, I'd say probably right about maybe 40%. Might even be actually maybe more like 30% or less. But the lockup really feels solid. I mean, there's no blade play on this sucker or nothing. There's like, this thing is good to go. The action on it, now I did add some gunny glide, but check out that action. Barely any movement. Blade centering is perfect. It's just really impressive. And then one of the most impressive really things about it to me is look at the grind on this titanium. Look at the milling, rather. The milling is unbelievable. You do have a lanyard hole here, but the milling on this is superb. Superb. Everything about it. Look at the backside. There's no chatter or anything on the mill lines here. It offers some good grip. It's really nice. The pocket clip, I did notice the pocket clip had a little bit of sharpness on the sides here. This could kind of cut into your fingers just a little bit when holding the knife. So I took the pocket clip off and sanded it just a tiny little bit on the side. You can barely even tell, and that actually did help. That's one of really my only gripes about the knife, is that the pocket clip is a little sharp on the sides, but I mean, that eliminated the problem, and it's such a low profile clip that it's just comfortable to hold. The clip doesn't get in your way. It just kind of hides right in there. The contouring on the handle, these choils for your finger, everything feels really comfortable. Now, there's no jimping up top or anything here, but I don't feel like it really needs it. I think it feels really good even without it. It feels like I'm really locked in. Everybody talks about being locked in, but it does. It feels like I'm really locked in using this. The pivot, look at the milling on the pivot. It's T8s. It's T8s all the way around. I believe the lock bar insert is a T6, but this is a T8 and this is a T8, which also tells, I wanted to mention, to take the knife apart only requires the removal of the pivot screw and the pocket clip screw. This is not necessary to remove to take the knife apart. That's just holding the backspacer. So it's a 2-screw job, and you can have the knife apart. It runs on bearings. I believe there's ceramic bearings, if I can remember correctly. The action on it is really snappy, and the detent is good. So here, check this out. Here, let me kind of show you. Here's the detent. I can fail it, but it takes some pretty concerted effort for me to fail this knife. And by the way, you can light switch it. You can light switch it, or you can push button. You can do either one. It's pretty reliable. The only time I ever notice that I fail it is if I'm just kind of only grab it a little bit by the flipper tab. I mean, really, that's a very rare occurrence. I mean, if you're going to flip it, you're going to open it. It's really, really responsive. The detent feels really good. I wonder, can I flip it out? Not really. Let's see. I'll try it off camera. Okay, I'm really whipping it hard. I cannot get it to whip out. So it's got a really good detent. Yeah. So here's your detent ball in here. I don't know how well you can see that. Lock bar insert, like I said, right there. So anyway, everything about it really seems great. Now, from what I've seen online, TwoSun does a fantastic job with their 14C28N. I've heard a couple people talk about how their heat treat is amazing. There's one guy, God, I can't remember his name on YouTube right now. I'd like to give him credit, but he had a series of videos where he was doing cut tests on 14C28N. He was using like a cutting board. I think it was like a plastic cutting board, using twisted sisal, I think, like Pete does. And he said he was up to like 700 or 800 cuts. God, I need to figure out the name of his channel. 700 or 800 cuts or something, and it still was slicing through paper like nothing. So I guess TwoSun's 14C28N is really, really well done. So anyway, the thing that really stood out to me is the quality of the construction and the milling and everything, the action, how comfortable it is. All of that for 75 bucks. This knife costs $75. I found it at White Mountain Knives for 75 bucks. And if you use any one of the many coupon codes that go around, like I use LTK because it's short and sweet, easy to remember, you get the 10% off. So I ended up paying, I think it was $68.39 for this. So yeah, just a hair over 68 bucks for this knife. And honestly, I've got other titanium frame lock flippers, and this is among the best constructed, the best milled. It's got some heft to it, 4.6 ounces is a little on the heavy side for a lot of people. I think it feels really comfortable. I have large hands. I'm 6'4", so I'm a pretty big guy. It really fills my hand out nicely. I can get all 4 fingers and still have a little bit of extra space on there without being cramped. And I would like to talk about the recurve for a moment, because I know a lot of people are turned off by knives that have a recurve. A lot of people don't like recurves, and I don't really understand why. I can see if you're freehand sharpening, that could be a real pain. I use the Wicked Edge system. Clay Allison has a video about sharpening a karambit to demonstrate recurve sharpening on there. And he is correct. With the way the stones are in the Wicked Edge, you're not going to be hitting the center of the stone. Like say, I don't know, say here's your stone, right? You're not going to be using the very center. You're going to be using the outsides of the stone, because those are the parts that are going to be contacting the recurve. So as you come across with your stone, you're going to be hitting on the outside of the edges of the stone. And you can see too, like if you put Sharpie on your blade and then you run a Wicked Edge stone across, you'll see the outer edges of the Wicked Edge stone, the Sharpie on there, but not in the middle. But it's still sharpening. You're still getting the, in this case, diamond is still coming across the blade. It's still coming across evenly. I did not have to take any special precautions or anything to make that work. Here's the stuff I wrote down for the measurements. Here, let me see if I can show you my mirror. Usually shows it better with a Sharpie, but so anyway, there's my mirror edge. So that is without any kind of special, setup or anything with a Wicked Edge. I didn't have to do any kind of like finagling or jury rigging or anything like that to make this happen. You can see the finish on the blade is actually, that satin finish is pretty mirror-like. I mean, look, you can pretty much read, if you could read backwards, you can read the writing on the blade. So it is a pretty shiny satin finish, which is nice. I mean, it picks up fingerprints and stuff, but it's not really egregious. It's not one of the worst I've seen. Anyway, but I was able to get a mirror finish on there without doing anything special sharpening-wise. So I originally, from what I'd heard online, I thought recurves were so hard to sharpen, and that I avoided them. I remember there were other knives that I would see that I was interested in, and I avoided these recurves because I thought, oh, I can't sharpen a recurve, I can't handle that. I don't have the skill to sharpen a recurve. But it turns out you don't really need any special skill to sharpen a recurve. You do have to be careful with compound grinds if you want to keep the transition point. If you want to keep the transition point sharp, you have to be careful about that and treat it as if it's 2 different blades, yes. But sharpening this knife, the hardest part about this was not the recurve at all. It was the compound grind. It was making sure, like I said, that you're keeping those different parts of the blade separate from each other. That's the toughest part about this, not the recurve. The recurve was not an issue for me at all. And I can't imagine that would be any different on, say, like a Work Sharp Precision Adjust sharpener, a KME, any kind of guided system. I don't imagine that you would have any more trouble than I do, unless you have really wide stones. If you're using a stone, if your stone is this wide, the thinner the stone, the better it's going to be. If your stone is this wide, then you might have some trouble, depending on how big it is, with it only hitting the very edges of the stone. I still don't see why that would be a problem, though, as long as your stone isn't crazy wide. you're still going to be able to use the edges of the stone to get the material removed. You'll just be doing a little bit more wear on the edges of your stone than in the middle. But unless you have all recurves, that's probably not going to be an issue for you. So that's that. Anyway, so overall, I'm super impressed with the quality of this. The detent is great. The fit and finish on it is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. The blade steel is reported to be very good. Heat treat by TwoSun and 14C28N is a good stainless steel anyway. TwoSun reportedly does a fantastic job. It's really good looking. Just all the milling is done so well. The fit and finish is top notch, and it's a $75 knife. And if you can find it new, like I said, if you get it at White Mountain Knives, you can get it for $68 bucks. $68. That's not that much more. Here, I got this Gorborsha wood Elementum I just showed. This knife is $63 new. 63 bucks. So if you get this at White Mountain Knives, you can get this for $5 more than this Elementum. $5 more for a titanium frame lock flipper and 14C28N. It is unridiculous. It's crazy. It's so good. And it is sold out right now. I'm sorry. Today is October 7th of 2021. And these are sold out at the moment. But I was able to get mine. I got mine like 10 days ago or something. And they had them in stock. And they had several because I even checked. After I checked out, there were still some left. So I didn't buy like the last one or anything. So sign up for notifications if you're interested. I recommend White Mountain Knives because you can get that discount. Or just anywhere, you can look on eBay. I've most recently had most luck finding TwoSun knives on eBay, White Mountain Knives, and Amazon has them. I've only ever bought them through White Mountain Knives because I really like to get that 10% discount. No, that's not true because I do have one coming. I found on eBay. I was able to get a oh my gosh, I can't remember. Was it a TS165? I think. And I won the bid for like 38 bucks, and eBay charges tax. So I think out the door shipped to my home, it was like 40 and change. So I have that on the way too. That's a G10. It's a G10 TwoSun. So for $28 more than I spent on that, I got a titanium frame lock flipper that has really addictive action. By the way, listen to this. I don't know if you can really tell. I'll have to hold it real close to the camera. Let me make sure I don't whack the camera here. What a great sound. This thing makes great noises. And isn't that a big part of knife collecting and being a knife hobbyist? It's not just the looks and the feel and actually using them. It's the sound, man. It's the sounds they make. It's fantastic. So good. Anyway, we just hit the 18-minute mark, so I'm going to try to keep it under 20. Again, here I do tend to ramble. But anyway, that's the TwoSun TS293 Rye-Heat design. It is absolutely wonderful. It's a fantastic blade, and I highly recommend it. I just wanted to get a little bit more information out there about it because it is so cool. So, all right, well, y'all have a great rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.